My name is Vaughn, and I have ADHD. But if you know my dad, this information probably doesn't come as a shock to you. I'm not sure if it's my ADHD or just the fact I have two little brothers. But I think I have some self-control issues. Let's just say we don't get along. We fight a lot. I don't like him touching my stuff, looking at my stuff, or even breathing on my stuff. So I haven't always reacted calmly. I want to be better, but it's not easy to change. I try, but in fact, sometimes I make things worse. It's so frustrating. Have any of you ever experienced this? You try really hard to fix yourself, a certain situation, or relationship. And no matter how hard you try, you just can't. In fact, sometimes you seem to make things worse. Well, I've got good news for all of us who are frustrated. And that good news comes from the Bible. In the book of Judges, chapter 7, we read the story of Gideon. Gideon was a judge, but not like the judges we think of today who say, overrule. A judge was someone who God selected to help lead his people. God had a mission for Gideon. He wanted Gideon to defeat the Midianites. The problem is they were outnumbered, 32,000 to 135,000. But that is not quite how God saw it. Judges 7:2 says, the Lord said to Gideon, you have too many warriors with you. If I let all of you fight the Midianites, the Israelites will boast to me that they saved themselves by their own strength. I can just imagine what Gideon is thinking when God says this. Wait a minute, too many men? We were already outnumbered. Now, Gideon obeyed God. He asked his men if they were afraid and sent those who were afraid home. 22,000 men went home. The crazy thing is, God said he still had too many men. God told Gideon to bring his men down to the water to drink. He had him divide them from those who drank the water with their hands and those who got on their knees to drink the water from their knees. No. Get on their knees to drink from the water with their mouths. Sorry. Only 300 men drank the water from their hands. Verse 7 says, the Lord told Gideon, with these 300 men I will rescue you and give you victory over the Midianites. Send all the others home. Once again, if I was Gideon, I'd be thinking, 300 men? Are you kidding me? I'm going home. Good thing I'm not Gideon. He obeyed God. But here's the thing. They didn't win by fighting. They won with pitchers, trumpets, torches, and rocks. So when the battle happened, the Israelites broke their pitchers, raised their torches, and blew their trumpets, and shouted, a sword for the Lord and for Gideon. The Midianites were scared and started fighting each other, and some of the leaders and warriors ran away. You see, it wasn't the strength of Gideon and his army, it was God's strength. Gideon's victory came from God, and not from his army. Just like his victory came from God, your victory comes from God and not from yourself. For some of you, this may be a new idea. However, for most of us, we already know this. We just forget it. We rely on our own strength and not God's. If you don't remember anything else about this sermon, remember this. Your victory comes from God and not from yourself. Some of you may be thinking, wait a minute, since my victory comes from God and not from myself, then what am I supposed to do? Am I not supposed to try and fix my problems? Well, that's a good question. Yes, your victory comes from God, but that doesn't mean you just sit on your couch and expect God to do everything. What it means is that you should trust him and do your best and trust God with the rest. After all, Gideon still had to march into battle with his army. And you don't have to worry about what you don't have because your victory comes from God. Let's face it, trusting God is not as easy as it sounds. As we grow in trust, we recognize more and more that it really is God who brings the victory. The more we trust, the less we fear. We have confidence to move forward, to march into our battles like Gideon. Will you trust him?
Okay.